Ayush. Welcome to the
Yes,
session. Um, Ayush, can you brief yourself? How was your journey? Started from your class 10 to till now. How was your academics and other activities?
sir. I'm Ayush and I belong to Darbhanga Bihar. And initially, my initial schooling I have done from Nainital. Then afterwards, I had played nationals in judo there. Then afterwards, I was in Delhi. Then I went to Kota for preparation of JEE, and I get enrolled in M90 Allahabad in mechanical engineering. And last year I graduated from there in 2022. And uh, this is my second attempt of ESE, and I've also secured AIR 68 in GATE Mechanical 2023.
Great. So why you want to become IES? You have given second attempt also.
Yes, sir.
So why
Sir,
you are so interested towards this?
from my first year of engineering, it was my dream and aim to clear this examination because what I've been told by the seniors and what I've researched myself that it is the most uh, good job which an engineer can get in India, and I can contribute to the society with this job. It will get me the platform.
Can you tell me three qualities for which you should be selected as a ESC officer, and three qualities because of which you are not suitable for this post?
So the three qualities which I think I should get selected. So the first one being that as I'm so young and enthusiastic, and I have the time management skills which can be justified by my previous records. And apart from that, I have that discipline kind of thing which comes from the sports background. I have always been active in sports, so the sports background, the consistency and the discipline part. So I think these two major parts can contribute to this job, and which will make me more suitable for this. And if we talk about the non-selection part of point, as, as of now, I am not able to think of that. If you would suggest me, then I would rectify that.
Okay, so as of now, you are not having any qualities that you think you are not suitable for this post.
So whatever qualities it might be, I will definitely rectify that and pass that with flying colors.
Okay, 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 Aman sir.
Yeah, I've seen your DAF. You are as in charge for gym in your engineering college, right?
Yes, sir.
In charge or what was that?
The gym coordinator for the college.
Team coordinator. So what was your role there? What you have done and what changes you made before you and what is after you? What is the difference?
So the basic role was to develop the gym infrastructure. Whatever, there is a part which gives us the fund, and we have to manage those funds. So the part was to what gym equipments we need. So to make the list of that, and on the and from which company we will find it for the suitable amount. So that was the major part. And apart from that, the thing was to make a team which will go to the internet and perform well. So I had to lead that.
Yes, Ayush, I want to ask one question from my side.
Yes, sir.
Like you are into athletics, more into that, right? So I want to know, like, when have you watching that Olympics? That have you been following the Olympics?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so could you let me know, like, what when will the next Olympics is gonna be held and where it gonna be held?
Sir,
Any idea what?
yes, sir. It will be held in Paris next year, 2024.
In
Sir, in Paris,
in the year next, like when will be conducted?
2024, sir, next year.
2024. Okay. So, what is the criteria for selecting the host nation? Is there any criteria for that?
But for to select the the host nation keeps on rotating, and sir, I don't know the right criteria, but it might be, sir, the rotation point of view.
Rotation wise.
Yes,
So, when did the like?
sir.
Okay, yes.
And sir, if the country is able to provide that infrastructure needed for that sports to be held,
So, when the last India has hosted Olympics?
so India has never host Olympics.
So that means India is not having that facilities right now.
So, that is the point, but it's not the only point. Apart from that, India has held the Commonwealth Games. So if
Okay.
India is able to hold the Commonwealth, then it can also host the Olympics.
Okay, fine, sir. I mean, sir.
Sorry, there was a disturbance from my internet side. Fine. Can you tell me the reason why you have given option one? What is the option one you have given?
So I have given IDSE, Indian Defence Service of Engineers.
So what is the reason for option one for that?
Sir, as I'm from sports background, so I always wanted to serve in the defense sector and utilizing my mechanical engineering skills. So that's given me a platform for that. And apart from that, I have also talked to my seniors and teachers. They have also suggested me the same. So on behalf of, on concluding all the things, I get this my first choice.
Okay. Over to you, sir. Dheeraj, sir.
Yes, sir. So, Ayush, first of all, I would be asking you a question. Like, you must be knowing about permeability number in
Yes,
the
sir.
casting.
Yes, sir.
So, how the test is performed to get the permeability number?
So to get the permeability number, there is a sand mold, and we pass the air through it, and we record the timings and timing of the air passing through it, and according to that we set the number. So
So,
if the time is
how the air is capable of passing that said mount?
so because of the property of the permeability of the sand, so the pores in the holes, the pores are in the sand.
So, will it be requiring any pressure difference or directly it will pass?
No, sir, it will require a pressure difference.
So why you are providing that delta P, that pressure difference? So in reality, whenever you are pouring the molten metal into the cavity, then is that delta P present? And if it is there, from where it is?
So that delta P will be created by some fan or something.
So delta P in test you are providing, but in reality, when in
Yes, sir.
reality you are pouring the molten metal, where that delta P is coming from?
So that pressure difference, and I'm not sure that pressure difference might be because of the height of the riser. Sorry, screw.
True. Okay. So you also must have studied about that key moisture content plays a very important role
Yes, sir.
when we are talking about the properties of molding set.
Yes, sir.
You know? So I would be asking you when we will get the highest permeability for what moisture content in the said mold.
Around 6 to 8% of moisture.
6 to 8%. When we get the highest strength,
Highest strength with respect to moisture.
molding strength. When we will get more molding strength for what moisture content? Like
Sir,
permeability, you said for 6 to 8%. For strength, what it should be.
sir, it's for the dry mold when no moisture is there.
Okay, it will be when you are having dry mold. Okay, I am asking about that green said mold when it will be having the highest strength.
It means, sorry, sir, I'm not. The 4%
Okay.
maybe.
So what is atomic hydrogen welding?
Sir, in atomic hydrogen welding, we actually pass the hydrogen gas and the hydrogen so and we provide the heat, so that heat will be breaking the hydrogen molecules, and when the hydrogen molecule will combine, they will again release the heat. So from that heat we will weld that
From,
our
from
job.
where you are providing the heat to break the hydrogen molecule
So in a chamber.
in the
Sorry,
chamber. So welding will be happening in the chamber.
sorry, sir.
Okay, what is the difference between centripetal and centrifugal force?
Sir, the centrifugal force, sir, so centripetal force is the actual force acting on that body, and the centrifugal force, we can say it is a the pseudo force. If you are standing on that particular body, then in relative motion, we can see the outward force acting, that will be known as centrifugal force.
So you said pseudo force.
Yes.
Why we require pseudo force?
To analyze that problem easily, because that force is not actually acting, but to analyze that problem easily, we are changing the respect of the respect, the observer respect. So from that we get that.
Okay, okay. Do you know about cone of friction? Cone, CONE, cone of friction.
Oh, no. If you can give me some hint with that.
Okay. What about friction circle?
So what?
Friction circle. Friction circle in bearing.
Sorry,
Friction circle in bearing. Sliding contact bearing. We have a term friction circle.
sorry, sir, not able to recall.
Okay. So can you tell me that what is the normal stress at plane of maximum shear stress?
Yes, sir.
What
Sir,
is that?
yes, sir. So when we apply a stress to the point, stress to object. So at any point, if we define the, if we uh, check the stresses in every angle. So at a particular angle where there is maximum shear stress, and there will be a point in which there will be an angle in which we are checking the stress. So at that point there will be normal stress. Sorry, sir, the normal stress. Sorry, sir. If you can again repeat the question, I'm very confused.
I'm asking you the magnitude of normal stress at the plane of maximum shear.
So the relation between the magnitude of normal stress and plane of maximum shear.
No relation. At plane of maximum shear, what is the value of normal
Okay,
stress?
okay, sir. At plane of maximum shear, the value
What
of
is the
normal
value
stress
of
will be,
normal shear? Huh?
yes, sir. It will
Normal
be the
stress.
average of the two principal stresses.
Okay. The difference between thermodynamic and mechanical cycle?
Sir, thermodynamic cycle, sir, it is basically a closed cycle. And if we talk about the mechanical cycle, it is the open cycle in which the same fluid is not rotating around the cycle.
Okay. So flywheel governor, what is the difference between them?
So flywheel is basically to fluctuate so flywheel basically to fluctuate the energy difference which is being created by the exhaust of the gases, exhaust of the fuel, whereas governor is used to control the external fluctuation because of the load, and flywheel is there as for the internal fluctuation.
So do you have a car? Have you ever driven a car?
Yes, sir. So
So in
not by
that
myself,
car,
I was in the back seat, sir.
okay. So in that car, do you feel flywheel and governor both are there?
Yes, sir.
So you said about governor also, flywheel also. What is governor doing there?
That when the load is increased, then the speed will be decreased. So to maintain the same speed, we need to give the extra fuel. So governor is basically controlling the fuel by the increase or decrease of load. So it is,
So are you trying to say that governor will try to maintain constant speed?
yes, sir.
So if you are, let us say in the car you are sitting at 60 kilometer is the speed. So if let us say you have a high traffic inside at that road, then you will try to reduce the speed, but governor will try to maintain the constant. You will try to make it 20 kilometer per hour. Governor will once again reaching to 60. Will it be okay?
No, sir.
Then
Yeah. So I will read about it. I'm getting the
okay, over to you, sir.
Okay. So, hi Ayush.
hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Ayush, good afternoon. In a year, roughly how many engineers, how many mechanical engineers get their degree in across the country, including government, NITs, IITs, private colleges?
So once again, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ayush, I'm saying that in 1 year in our country, including all the colleges, NITs, IITs, government colleges, private colleges, roughly how many mechanical engineers we get every year?
Every year, sir, in lakhs, sir. Maybe in lakhs.
How many lakh? 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 0.5 lakh, 36 lakh?
No, sir. Uh, if we make a guess estimate, then 10 lakhs students are filling the form every year for the JEE. Then around, sir, I think 3 4 lakhs maybe getting. So sorry, 3 4 lakhs maybe total engineer, and in mechanical, if we talk about, sir, 1 2 lakhs.
Okay. Ayush, if there is a tapered bar One side the diameter is d1 and another side the diameter is d2. Length is L, Young's modulus is E. And we are applying a axial pull P.
Yes, sir.
So that is a standard case.
Yes,
In
sir.
that case, what is the formula for axial deformation?
Sir, PL upon D1 D2 pi D1 D2 E. Sir, 4 PL upon pi D1 D2 E.
Correct. Now my question is now coming.
Yes.
That if one side the diameter is reduced to 0, d2 becomes 0. So that means it becomes a cone.
Yes, sir.
It becomes a cone. Now what will be the deformation?
Uh, Sir, it will be so 4 PL by 3 D square E.
Why? Because if you put in that formula where d2 is 0 and denominator d2 is in denominator, so the deflection will become infinity. The earlier
Yes, sir,
formula you told na. So in
yes, sir.
that, if you put d2 is equal to 0, it is coming infinity.
Yes, sir. But sir, this formula and this formula, sir, we are not using for the same condition. In this formula, when we are putting the limits while integrating, then that limit is sir, defined in between D1 and D2. But if we'll put the same thing in this cone, then that limit won't be defined.
Sure.
Sir.
Wait, Ayush.
Yes, sir.
You are saying that limit is defined. So limit cannot be defined to 0.
No,
0
sir,
is not a
can
definite
be.
number.
No, sir, it is a definite number.
That formula is valid for d2 is equal to 0 also.
Sir, if I can, sir, use the pen and copy, then I may get a solution.
If you have, you can.
Yes, sure. Sir, if we are while we are doing the integration, then so the area part is in the denominator, and so when the area part is on the denominator, and we are and the diameter is changing along with length, so we are basically we are writing area with respect to the length. In the, let's say if the length be x, if you are taking a differential element, so the x is changing, and sir, when we are doing that integration part, the area is in the denominator. So when the area will be 0, basically when we are putting a limit where area will be 0, then at that point the integration will be indefinite. So that will that is not valid.
Okay. Ayush, let me ask you something. You yourself will get the answer. Limit x tending to 0. What is the value of 1 by x? Will it be infinity or will it be not defined?
Infinity.
It will, sure, na?
Yes, sir.
So what is the answer for this question that I asked?
Yes, sir. Got it.
One limit extending to 0, 1 by x is infinity. It is not defined. Okay, so similarly for this also, if area x is 0, that means stress will be infinite that time. So that will produce infinite strain. So theoretical answer will be infinite. But practically, when we apply the load, that doesn't go for the infinite deformation, because practically when we are applying the load, we cannot apply the load at 0 d2, na? So that means that time there is a thin or very small area. But theoretically, the answer will be infinite. And practically, we cannot do this because how we can apply the force on a 0 area?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Ayush, where the boiling point of water will be more? Will it be more in Everest or will it be more in Goa?
Sir, in Goa.
Why?
So at the average, the pressure is low. So when we are decreasing the pressure, then the boiling temperature will also reduce.
Okay. Have you seen waterfalls?
Yes, sir. One time.
Where you have seen them?
Sir,
In 2 videos.
No, sir. I have been to Jabalpur. So there was
Beda Ghat.
yes, sir, sir, Narmada river is there. So sir, there is a so I'm not able to remember the name. So the
Beda Ghat.
Dhara Falls. It's Beda Ghat. Yes, sir. Beda.
Yes. So Ayush, in Beda Ghat, where there is the waterfalls, na, when water is falling at any particular depth, what is the water pressure there? I'm talking of not absolute, I'm talking of gauge pressure. At any point when water is falling, at any point, what is the water pressure. Suppose I'm talking of h height below the fall, from where it starts originating the fall, h height below, the water pressure will be rho gh or something else.
So at any point it should be atmospheric pressure.
Okay, so gauge pressure will be atmospheric or zero?
So 0.
Okay. Why we use mercury in thermometers?
So because as the temperature will change, so it will so the mercury level will rise or fall, so it will give us the temperature difference or so temperature change.
Okay. Ayush, in which room you are sitting, there might be some columns. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
on columns, or it may be slab or wall, anything. So the compression or the compressive strain on those walls will be in micrometers or will it be in kilometers?
Micrometers.
Strain will be in micrometers. Strain is a unitless thing, na?
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ayush. Okay, Suraj.
Okay, sir. Okay, hello, Ayush.
Hello, sir.
Just looking up to your responses, I need to ask one question.
Yes, sir.
If you might have heard about friction, right?
Yes, sir.
Friction is majorly depending on which factor?
So friction depends on the coefficient of friction and normal.
Normal. Can you elaborate, like
So
the nature of surface or anything else?
yes, sir. Friction. If the nature of surface is smooth, then the friction will be less, and if the nature of surface is rough, then we will have the more friction because of the coefficient of friction changes from nature to surface of nature.
Okay, so let us take one example. Let us take one example. Let's suppose there are two glasses. Okay,
Yes,
two
sir.
glasses being kept one over another, and we know that glass is a very smooth surface, not a
Yes.
perfectly smooth.
Yes, sir.
So do we have very less friction between the glass surface? According to your statement, just like you said. If you keep one glass over another and I'm pulling the topmost glass in a horizontal direction, so do we have a very less friction or a very high friction?
Like so if we are putting steel glass into a steel glass, then it has low friction.
Low friction.
Yes, sir.
So that means if you are pulling one sheet metal over another, if you are pulling that sheet, it will be very easy to pull that sheet. Is that so? Or we require very high amount of force?
A high amount of force is needed.
So that is a contradictory statement.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That means if you are having a smooth surface, then also we'll be having friction, very high friction.
So the area is also comes under the picture.
Area is very high.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's talk about area also. Have you not studied like in Newton's law of friction, friction is independent of area? There's one statement like this.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is also contradicting.
So there is a I'm not able to recall the name, but so there is also a statement. So I guess the Coulomb's law of friction, or so in that area depends from that statement.
Okay, area depends upon friction.
Yes, the friction depends upon area.
Okay, okay. The
I
friction
have read in that in manufacturing.
Okay, let us suppose I'm taking two surfaces very smooth. Let's take that glass example only. So surface is very smooth. Still, we are not able to pull that glass. So what could be the possible reason for that? Definitely, surface roughness won't be the reason. Then what could be the possible reason?
Sir, there might be interlocking between the microstructures and between the two glasses.
Okay.
There might be, sir, the microstructures, so the interlocking might be small, but because of the large area, that small interlocking gets into a big form, so the large force is needed.
Well, that means there's a multiple contacts between the surfaces.
Yes, sir.
Which is trying to resist a body to move.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we were talking about engines, IC engine, right? Can you tell me what is a like which material is made up of piston?
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yes, sir.
Like alloy or plain aluminium?
The alloy.
Alloy. Which alloy?
So that I'm not able to recall.
Okay. So you might have seen on the piston boundary, we are having some rings. Why we are providing those rings?
The piston rings are there to so for the so to not pass the oil into that cylinder chamber.
Do not pass the oil or fuel?
It's a fuel, sorry.
Fuel.
Yeah.
Okay. So still we are having lining, so there's a possibility of fuel leakage. We still are providing that rings. We are having some space in between the oils has been placed.
Yes.
Okay, let's take one practical example. Let us suppose you are driving a bike, right? And sometimes you feel that there are very high black fumes is coming out from your exhaust. So what is the meaning of that? What do you implies from that? Like what do you
Unburnt hydrocarbons are there.
let us suppose I'm talking about a simple bike, a petrol engine, right? And we're having a black fumes coming out from the exhaust. What do you infer from that as a mechanical engineer?
So the unburned fuel is there. Fuel is not able to burn and it is leaking along with the exhaust.
Along with the exhaust, fuel is not burning, so it will it be giving black fumes if the fuel is not burning, or some other reason?
So the emission, the carbon contents and the sulfur content might be more.
Okay,
The SOx and the NOx.
fine. Now let us suppose if you want to go to a mechanic shop, you want to take your bike. So usually he tried to open a nut below the casing. So there's a black oil is coming. So what does that black oil basically mean? What is the meaning of this? What does this infer? If by looking at that color of that oil, what do you mean by that?
So in which parts oil is?
Like if you are opening a case, there's a nut just below the engine casing. When you open the nut, there's a very black colored oil coming. So what do you mean by that? Is there any significance, or black is a standard color? Anytime if you open that casing, you'll be getting always a black color.
No, sir. Always it is not black. So the carbon deposits are there, so that might create a black color.
Carbon deposits. So basically, this is a fuel that is being stored, unburned fuel or anything else. What is being collected at the bottom of the casing?
So the lubricants.
Lubricants. Okay. So initially, when you pour a lubricant, it's like bluish in color or reddish in color.
Yes,
You
sir.
must have seen castrol oil, right? So
Yes.
now it is becoming black. So
Sir, when we are pouring the lubricants, then it might be red in color or blue in color. But then afterwards, when we are using the vehicle again and again, those mobiles, sir, which we call, and so what happens to them is, so the additives. So basically, the lubricants are made of base oil and additives. So the additives gets burned out. So the base oil color remains left out. So the additives are not there. So they will not perform the anti-wear function. So in that case, the color becomes black.
okay. So if you remember 10-15 years back, we used to drive Chetak scooter.
Yes.
Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
So when we go to petrol pump, usually what we do, we pay additional 5 or 10 rupees, and we say that you pour that oil directly into the petrol tank. Have you seen this kind of scenario? Nowadays, we are having a separate mobile oil tanker. We are having a separate oil and separate for the fuel tank. But that stage, we used to pour petrol and that oil together. So have you thought about that? Like any?
No, sir, I have not heard about this, but
Okay. So let us suppose if they are doing, what could be the possible reason for that? Will it increase the efficiency from a mechanical efficiency perspective, or
sir, from the mechanical perspective, I don't think it will increase efficiency because, sir, the quality of fuel will degrade anyhow, so the efficiency will also decrease.
okay? But it is actually lubricating the moving parts. If the oil is present, it will be present
Yes,
on the
sir.
cylinder walls. It will try to decrease the friction, and overall, it will be increasing the efficiency. Is that so?
So, but that oil will also mix with the fuel, so the burning of fuel won't be easy, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, you have answered to one question, governor and flywheel, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have told about the functioning of governor. So, in an we can say SI engine, are we using a governor over there?
Sir,
Spark ignition engine.
yes, sir.
Ah,
Yes, sir. We'll be using.
will be using. So you'll be maintaining the your fuel ratio. It will be
Yes, sir.
supplying the fuel according to
Fuel
the
ratio.
requirement.
Yes,
So why we're using carburetor also? Is that a, we can say, a reluctant device?
Carburetor is now replaced by MPFI.
MPFI.
Yes, sir. Multi-port fuel injection. And so, but carburetor was used to mix the fuel and the air to maintain the ratio which you want.
According to the requirement, it is providing the air fuel ratio.
Yes, sir.
So that days we were not using governor. That means we are not using governors in that case. If carburetor is present,
No, sir. Governors was also used that day.
so are we not thinking like both are giving me the same performance, same functioning? So why to use two devices?
Sir, I was telling that, sir, how much fuel to be given to the carburetor, that is controlled by the governor. So the fuel, how much fuel to be given to the carburetor, so that will be controlled by the governor according to the load conditions.
Okay. So there were two devices being used to control the air fuel ratio.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay. Now, I was seeing your DAF. I was just seeing your you are working in HPCL at present.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your profile is over
Sir,
there.
I'm a sales officer in lubricants division.
Okay, so lubricants. So you might be having a very good sound knowledge of lubricants.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me what is the composition of the lubricants we are using? Chemical
Sir,
composition.
we have, sir, basically the lubricants is made up of base oil and additives. So 80% is the base oil and 20% are the additives. So
Okay.
base oil, we have different categories: group 1, group 2, group 3, and synthetic. Whereas whereas additives, we are adding said to give the properties like anti-corrosion, rust-free. These all properties are given by the additives.
Okay, let us suppose if I change the ratio from 80-20 to 60-40, what could be the
Yes.
performance output like?
So the viscosity will change. So the viscosity will, when the viscosity will change, we will have the problems in starting of the engine. We will have the problem in the transmitting of the load of the engine. So that problems can be created because of that.
Okay. So let us suppose if you are working, if you are putting that wheel oil in one of the engine, right? And it's a running case and the temperature is gonna rise. And I'm using
Yes,
that 60-40 ratio. So what could be the possible changes you can see in the machine?
So as the temperature will rise, then the viscosity will decrease. So as the viscosity will be decreased, so the lubricant, the mobile which you are using, the thickness of that lubricant will decrease. So when the thickness is getting decreased, then let's say if we talk about the gearbox, then the power transmission through the gearbox will decrease because the thick lubrication is not there. So that was a major challenge in our sector. So what happened? That this type of oil is known as monograde. So nowadays we are selling the multi-grade oil in which they have both the characteristics of the high viscosity and less viscosity.
Okay. So let us suppose if you are using temperature is rising, viscosity is definitely gonna decrease. So
Yes,
will that lubricating oil will be going to the every part? Like it will be easily able to move. Will that be a positive thing? Like if you see is in that perspective,
yes, sir.
let us suppose there are some moving parts. You're not able to pour the lubricant oil because of high viscosity. As the temperature is increasing, the viscosity is going to decrease, right? So it will be easily able to move. So
Yes, sir. From that perspective, it is good, sir.
So then we should be opting for
That's why-
50-50%. Then still we are going for 80-20.
No, sir. So the 80-20 sir, ratio is the base oil and the additives.
Okay.
And sir, the 50-50 which you are telling, that is been created by the group. We have the groups of the base oil, group 1, group 2, group 3. So that is being created from the base oil, 50-50 ratio kind of thing. So we are using a high viscosity grade, and we are using like let's say the viscosity index be 10, and so we are also using a 10W50. Basically 10W is for winter season and 50 is for summer.
Okay.
We have seen in the mobiles there is written 10W50. So sir, the 50 will be the high viscosity part that will be used for the higher temperature conditions, and that will when decrease to 40, that will work in both the profile. So for the transmitting in all the moving parts and for the transmission of power. And so whereas the 10, that will be helpful for the starting of the engine, because at the starting time we don't need the high viscosity of the mobile.
Okay, fine.
Let's give the feedback and then we can close.
Okay. So sir, feedback should not be recorded.
You can record, no issue.
Okay.
So, Ayush, I'll give you my opinion about non-technical part because I'm not from mechanical or civil. So the way how you are presenting and all is very nice, especially the smile on your face is pleasant.
Yes, sir.
Please continue that. And your attire and all, I think they're good. On the video, it is showing good. But while sitting and all, when you go to final interview, have your spine straight and put your legs, have your shoes polished. Otherwise we are able to see you only half part of yours. That is looking fine. These are all fine. You are looking confident also. The way how you are answering these questions when you are not aware of the answers, you are frankly telling that yes, I'm not aware of. You are guessing it. Everything is looking fine from me. Keep it up. Technical part, faculty will give you the feedback. Keep going.
Okay. Ayush, just one feedback from my side. अगर एक ग्राफ बनाते हैं ना, y axis में if I put your energy and x axis में if I put the time, then the slope of that graph will be negative. Slope will be negative. That means it is a decreasing function. When I started asking you question, when Indira sir is asking question, you are having a high energy positive. In few of my questions, you are not able to answer properly in the first attempt. Then your energy is decreased for the next 10 minutes and आप बीच में ही hopeless हो गए थे. बहुत सारे initially some questions that were asked by Suraj sir also ना. So you feel like कुछ बुरा हो गया है. So you are not able to cope up with those questions. So for those 10 minutes now, you are not, you are 50%, you are blanked. So that should not be done now, because my questions are like that. I know that 99%, 90% of those 2 questions nobody will be able to answer. But I want to check that are you collapsing with that or not? So you might have collapsed that for those 10 minutes. आपको खुद पता चला होगा. Suppose ना Indian cricket team is batting and 10 overs, ODI match 10 overs were not अच्छे नहीं गए batting point of view से. So that doesn't mean ना next 40 overs भी India अच्छा नहीं खेलेगा. Okay. Okay. Neeraj sir, Suraj sir.
Audio, Dheeraj sir.
Audio नहीं है Neeraj
Audio
sir.
नहीं है.
अभी आ रही है?
हाँ sir.
Okay, so Ayush, what I found is कि you were answering the conceptual questions basically, but you were not answering properly the practical question. Like Suraj sir have also asked some of them, है ना? So थोड़ा सा उस पर काम करने की जरूरत है. और rest all the best from my side. Hope कि आपका selection हो जाएगा. Suraj sir.
Exactly. वही मैं actually point था कि like practical में you are lacking slightly. You are able to connect the theoretical aspect with the practical, but when you're explaining now, there are some real life boundary conditions. You're not able to answer that. तो वो थोड़ा सा brush up करना पड़ेगा. And whatever you have written in your DAF, every single point should be like true and you should be knowing. It should not be fake or bogus. क्योंकि बहुत बार होता है when students are able to write, I'm having this qualities. So if you have written athletics, so you should be knowing everything plus minus 5 years, what is being done, what's the latest updates, what's the current top athletics medalist, gold medalist, which country is having that. So you should be having at least that knowledge. So वो जरूरी है. And try to work on that practical application because you can get some good number of questions from there. That's it from my side, sir.
Ayush, you have anything to ask from your side?
Sir, I am not feeling confident as of now. So, basically, what do I need to do for the confidence?
When is your exam?
So, on 9th of October.
So you have still time. What was your score in prelims and mains? What was your expectation?
Sir, in prelims, I'm expecting 210, and in mains, I'm expecting around 390 to 400. So 400.
Okay. Only look at the practical aspects. As both the Dheeraj sir and Suraj sir is telling you, try to apply the concepts what you learned in the real time environment, practical applications more into. So second thing I give you one more advice is be thorough with the current affairs. At least last 2 months ka current affairs. There are chances that you'll get a question to begin with. In the beginning, generally current affairs will be touched. And third thing about DAF, be thorough with the DAF and justify all your answers.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you are good. You are not looked underconfident. For me, you are looked confident, and the way how smile and all are good. But energy levels you have to maintain, like Avinav sir is telling you,
Yes, sir. Got it.
maintain the energy levels, whether it is good or bad. Happened in the first 2 minutes or 10 minutes. Even though the technically is not that great, you try to be confident and maintain that energy levels. But next questions may be easier for you, right? So be confident and brush up the things. Generally in any interview, people will not go very deep into the concepts. They'll go for just basics and practical applications of those basics. Like one of the governor is one of the topics you talked about. Maybe you have studied in mechanical engineering about governor, but how
Yes,
it is
sir.
practically and where it is practically, those linking is more important. So there
Got
the
it.
concentration you have to do it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
All the very best, Ayush. Hope you'll get selected and we'll meet again.
Thank you, sir.